Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host Valerie, and sometime co-host Miss Purrington. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. You can keep up with us on Twitter and Instagram at Comedy Wham or on our Comedy Wham Facebook page. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, our advice column Rochelle Takes on Comedy, and we've also got a festivals page and our recently added FPIA 2022 page where you can keep up with all of the competition. And of course, we're best known for our events page for live shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW. If you're a comic in those cities and want your show featured on the calendar, go to the events page and click Submit a Show to complete the short survey. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo. Looking for ways to support all the resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on PayPal, Venmo, or even Patreon. Search for Comedy Wham on Patreon and check out our subscriber perks. Now let's get back to our podcast. Launched in 2016, the podcast project brings you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and we usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the Austin comedy scene one of the best in the country. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. Today, I am talking to a recent transplant to Austin from Colorado by way of South Carolina.
North Carolina.
Oh, I think I've just committed the most cardinal of sins. Oh my gosh. By way of North Carolina, she was on the first round of the Cap City 2022 Funniest Person in Austin contest and advanced to semifinals. And I don't think I've waited 24 hours to reach out to her and ask her if she would do my podcast. I was so smitten with her comedy. She is one of the new co-hosts of the long-running Baker Street comedy show, and I'm excited to have a conversation with her because her style of comedy is just fantastic, and I can't wait to tell her who I think she is a merging of minds of. And now Comedy Wham presents our guest, Mandy Kay.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm so excited to be here. That's fun. A lot of talking.
Yes, I warned you. It was a very long-winded introduction.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Nice.
I wonder how many people fast forward through all that.
You're very rude if you did. Go back.
Let's get this over with because some people really hate to be compared to other comics, and some people are like, "Oh, you are so wrong," and they want to tell you that you're so wrong. But let me tell you when I watched you, which admittedly, I've now watched you for, what was it, a 5-minute set at Cap City for the FPIA. And then I did go to your YouTube channel and watch, they were minute-long videos.
Yeah, little tiny ones. Those are old ones, too.
That is the basis of my analysis.
Okay.
In my mind, you are a merger of Leanne Morgan and Dave Hill.
I've heard both of those before.
Really?
I've heard Leanne Morgan.
Yeah,
for sure. And I love Dave Hill.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
I met him at a comedy festival one time, and I was just like, it's like meeting a celebrity. It's amazing.
Yeah. I have a very long history of fandom with him back to his WFMU days, and I've seen him every time he's come through Austin, and just the nicest guy.
I don't mind being compared to good comics. That's good. That's positive.
Good. So I picked good comics. Well, I wouldn't say you're. Yeah, I don't even know who I could say. Carrot Top. You reminded me of Carrot Top.
Right. Hey, he's on his boat in Florida right now, so yeah. He makes his money. That's fine with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does.
If I could have even a quarter of his success, I would be super thrilled. We're still talking about him.
Yeah. I know, right? Mandy, I have an official icebreaker question.
Okay.
That is one word to describe your past.
My past. One word to describe my past. I would say learning. I'm always learning. Yeah. Growing.
Yeah.
Learning and growing. That's 2 words. Well, if you count and, that's 3. But yeah, learning.
Yeah.
I'm always, I think that'll probably describe my future as well.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think you may be the first comic that has predicted what's coming at the end.
Oh, good. Damn it.
You are sharp.
God, so smart. It's annoying.
Tell me, since now we have established you're from North Carolina.
Yes.
Tell me what role comedy had in your life growing up.
Not much, honestly. I didn't step on a stage till I was in my 30s. I was 33 when I first started improv.
Yeah.
And I did start improv in South Carolina, so you're not way off
Oh.
there. Yeah.
Now I remember why I wrote South Carolina, because I do stalk when I'm doing my prep.
Oh, nice.
I found the company that you were a part of,
Yes.
and they were South Carolina.
Yes, yeah. So
Okay.
I lived in North Carolina till I was 17.
Okay.
A little small town, and I just couldn't wait to get out and do world stuff. So I got out at 17. Growing up, I watched a lot of like sitcoms and In Living Color. Roseanne was a huge influence on me. Living Single. So that's a lot of my background was
Yeah.
just. So I didn't step on a stage, do improv or any sort of theater-based anything until I was like 33, 34.
Wow. Did you have like the traditional, went to college with a major, worked in a certain...
No,
No.
none of it. I went to college and quickly failed out. I had a lot of fun, but no. I work in accounting, and I do mostly like collections and things like that. It was the jobs that I do in the accounting offices are like, because accountants aren't good at talking to people, and I was always pretty good at talking to people,
Yeah.
like getting them on the phone and negotiating contracts and things like that. And then I just took an improv class one day. I was taking a couple college classes at the community college just for fun. I was taking guitar lessons. That's why I say learning, because I'm always
Yeah.
like, I got my hand in something. I get bored, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I do next? I was in a history class, and this girl that I was friends with, she's like, my cousin Mandy won't shut up about these improv classes, and I have to go see her stupid recital, and I'm so over it. And I was like, her name's my name. What's this class? Like, that's literally how it started.
That was the hook.
Yeah, it really was. And I went to an improv class. It was $10 for a drop-in class. And after the first class, I was like, I'm going to do this.
Huh.
This is great.
What was it about it that enticed you?
It seemed hard for people, and it didn't seem hard to me. I think that's what kind of gravitates you towards anything,
Yeah.
when you're just like, I think I'm good at this, you know what I mean? And it felt fun and easy, like I could pick an accent or I could be somebody else, which I do anyway.
Yeah.
And it felt, I love the community of it. I loved being around other people and like making something funny and making other people laugh. I felt like the first time, my first recital, when I made the audience laugh, I was like, whoa, that's cool,
Yeah.
And I love I like the tribalness of everyone in a room together laughing at the same time.
Yeah.
And the feeling you get from that. That was the draw instantly.
Huh.
And the teacher actually pulled me after my first drop-in class and was like, you should take classes here.
Huh.
Yeah, they were like, you should do this. I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
And you'd never previously really been motivated by trying to make people laugh?
No, I had incredible stage fright. I was in high school, I played piccolo and flute and was in, would get solos and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I would throw up literally before every performance.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I wanted to be first chair. I wanted to be the best, but then
Yeah.
when people were looking at me, crumbled.
Oh, my
Would
gosh.
crumble. And like, I liked the improv part where you like had to pretend the audience wasn't there. That was a big draw for me, because like you
That
couldn't.
helped you through that.
Yeah, and like I got used to like long silences and building the scene and stuff like that. I really gravitated towards that. That I could be. It was just so different from what I was doing because I'd done accounting for so long.
It really helps to have the creative release.
Yeah.
In some way.
Well, and with improv, like you have to go in blank. Like you can't go in there loaded.
Yeah.
And that, I was really drawn to that. I was drawn to it just added this little bit of danger in my life.
Yeah.
It made my heart beat, it made me scared.
Yeah.
It made me nervous.
Did you tell your accountants, hey, I'm doing this secret?
Kind of. Barely. It took probably a good year of improv before I was like, maybe I'll invite people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not something you're like, come watch me do this.
Yeah.
I don't, some people, even with stand-up, are like, this is my first set. I invited all these people. And I'm
yeah.
like, why? Why would you ever do that?
You have to invite them to your second one,
Yeah.
too, because then you're just going to be so disappointed with that second one when they're not there.
Oh,
and
for
nobody's
sure.
laughing at you.
Yeah. And I mean, if they're supportive and they want to come see you, awesome. But
Yeah.
like, they're not going to come every time.
No, they're not.
You got to get that safety net out of there at some point.
For my improv aficionados in the audience, do you happen to remember what method you were taught?
Well, we were taught theater-based improv. They didn't want you to be funny. They were like, if you're funny, the funny is going to come. So we would focus on long form. We'd do games every now and then, but it was mainly long form.
Yeah.
It was mainly like 6 players or whatever up there for a half an hour, just getting one word and then just going. So it was like Herald based. And that helped a lot too when I started stand-up, because you had to be real. They wanted, the instructors there and the owners of the club, they're like, be real. Don't go for the laugh.
Yeah.
Figure out where you are, who you are, and what you're doing before you have fun,
Yeah.
And that's helps a lot. It helps a lot on stage, I think.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my recent interviews, that's such an important message. And I'm leading up to, so I'm going to be interviewing Casey Rocket,
Nice.
who is just phenomenal on stage. And I've interviewed people before where I would say, like, when we started the conversation, am I going to get the real you or am I going to get on stage you, which I have no idea who or what that is. It's not the, I know it's a lot of, not fake, but it's a lot of pretend.
I think with stand-up, especially with mine, it's me. It's all me.
Yeah.
Just turned up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just crank it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's the stand-up that I gravitate to.
Yeah.
Like where that they're telling a story that probably actually happened with a little bit of extra fun in there. I would have said this, so on stage I did.
Yeah.
It's not a lie, but
Yeah.
it's also, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the realness of it.
So did it take you feeling like you were finished with stage fright to dip your toe into stand-up, or how did that start for you?
I moved.
Ah.
I got married. I'm divorced now, but I got married and we bought an RV and we started traveling. And it probably took about a month. And I was like, this sucks.
Oh.
Like, I miss being on stage. I miss making people
Wow.
laugh. And it's really hard to just find an improv group somewhere.
Yeah.
But there's open mics everywhere, So a lot of my friends did both. They did improv and stand-up, and I just was like, nope, I don't want to do stand-up. I don't like it. If I fail, I want to fail with a group, and I want to go out to eat and lick our wounds. I don't want to fail by myself, and I still had the stage fright pretty hardcore. So, my first stand-up set, it took a while for me to get up there. I was annoying. I don't know how people... I'm like, I'm going to do it. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it. No, I'm not. I was one of those people that you're like, just shut up. Do it or don't.
Just a mic.
Yeah, for sure. I was at a mic in Portland, Maine. I was like, just go up there and do it or don't and shut up,
Hindsight is so 2020. We make it so important. Our first one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's I was going to say half the audience. It's probably 90% of that audience is other micers. They
were other
care
yeah,
less.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost all of them. It did not. Yeah, just go up there and do it or don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the catalyst. Because I've always said it. I'm like, improv is a warm hug, and stand-up's just a quick punch in the face. It is.
Oh my God, that's the perfect quote. That is the perfect quote.
It's
that
true, though.
Really describes it perfectly.
Yeah. You can't really fail too much in improv. You can, but and people are always like, well, how did improv help you with stand-up? I'm like, it helped me with long, awkward silences. I'm very used to those. When you're just starting, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So it got me comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And you said that your comedy style is very much just you, but turned up. Was that how you started off as well? Or did you experiment with different yous?
I used to think that I had to say something. Like that I had to be, make a point or, like when I first started, like some of my jokes, I can get them to work now, but I could not get them to work then. They were just very political and very like, this is what I think.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to be like, Mandy, they just want to laugh. Like, just stop it.
Yeah.
Like no one wants your agenda pushed in their face. Like,
Yeah.
let's just have fun up there and be you. And I can still do that. And as I got better, it was easier for me to kind of like push my agenda in with what I was doing in a funny way, in a more clever way than in kind of you're at a TED Talk kind of a way,
Yeah.
So that was hard for me at the beginning. And I think with my improv brain, I would go up there with kind of, a little bit blank and be like, I want to talk about this, which is just a really horrible way to do stand-up. Like, you got to have a joke written. And, like, you can't rely on your wit up there. You need to kind of, and some people can. I just, that's it, to write a joke and to go and perform the same joke. For my first, like, 2 years, I never really repeated a joke. I would just do all this new stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, they saw it last week at the open mic. Like, anybody gives two craps about what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, no, they already saw this one. I have to do something new, But I have a lot of material because of that, too.
Yeah. So you're traveling around the country in this RV, so you're hitting up mics across the country.
Yeah, we were at 6 months in Maine, and I love the comedy scene there. It's so fun. Had a great time. It was a good experience. Yeah. Then we went to Alabama during the election of Mr. Trump in 2016, so that was dumb. Yeah, it was just so politically charged, and it was bad. So I did some mics there, which the comedy scene's great there too. I haven't really hit a comedy scene that I hated, Everyone's been great. Yeah. And then went to Denver, and I was in Denver for 6 years, 5 or 6 years.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's probably 4 years. That's where I got most of my reps in and got better at comedy.
And in the Denver area, or I know Fort Collins has blown up with the Comedy Fort.
Fort Collins. Yeah. And I love the Comedy Fort, and I love David Rodriguez, and David Rodriguez is probably the first one to give me like a lot of stage time, and he let me. I just recently featured for Steph Tolev there.
Oh my God, love Steph.
I love her so much, and what I've noticed in my travels too is kind of like if someone's really good like her, they're also really nice and really helpful. They're not. I'm always like, oh God, I'm gonna meet her. She's so funny, and she's just her, and she's so fun. Yeah. So it was awesome, but I did like some 25-minute sets there, and I love Fort Collins. Yeah. That's a very supportive comedy community, and I lived right in the middle. I lived like 45 minutes from Fort Collins, 45 minutes from Denver, and I would kind of bebop. Yeah. And then Colorado Springs, and there's a bunch of little towns around there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big scene.
It's a great scene. Yeah, and they really reward people that are good. Though they want you on your show if you're doing well. Yeah,
Comedy Works, right, in Denver.
Yeah, Comedy Works was huge for me. I learned a lot. They do this thing where they like they'll time your sets. They'll time when you get your first laugh, and your laughs for a minute, and they'll talk to you about your jokes and like habits you have, and that really helped.
Really?
Yeah, it helped a lot.
When you say they, who's the they?
The people that run the New Talent Night.
Okay.
There. For New Talent Night, you have to sign up a bunch and like try to get up, and it's kind of for the local scene there. They just kind of work their way up. Yeah. And they try to help you with your jokes and get better, and it's very supportive and awesome. I loved it. And it's like as a new comic, you're just like figuring out things. They kind of help you push you along to like get your best stuff to the top.
Yeah. Why was Denver such a long resting spot?
I love Colorado. It's beautiful. Yeah. You can smoke weed. I'm very pro that. I'm pro smoking weed. The hiking's great. Yeah. The comedy community is great. There's so many mics. There's so many shows. Like you can be a working comic there for sure. And it's a good spot to just kind of be. I got to see a lot of amazing headliners like work on their stuff, and that was really cool to watch. Sam Talent is out there, Ben Roy, like just watching these people. Nancy Norton's out there, she's so good. John Nostad, like just watching these people work was helpful.
Yeah.
I think. And that's a lot of the reason why I stayed there. Like, because it just, I don't know, it's just a really good scene.
Yeah. What happened in 2020 for you?
For the pandemic,
Yeah.
Sadness. It was rough for a
Yeah.
while. A lot of people, I'm really grateful for like Tobias Livingston and like a handful of people did the car shows, which were so funny to me because like you're performing to cars and people are like doing their windshield wipers
Yeah.
and
Horn honk.
lighting their their headlights and stuff. It was so funny. And for me, like you see my comedy, like I'm kind of conversational and
Yeah.
I look for it in people's faces and it was really hard to not, and like some people roll down their windows and like yell at you, so that was fun. The people that I really felt for were the one-liner comics. Because you knew if like they would be like boom, honks, 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 no honk.
Oh, that's rough.
And it was just like, I don't know. And it was very hard to like, I just felt so bad for them. I was like, you can tell the ones that they don't like and the ones that they do.
Yeah.
Like, it's very obvious. For me, I kind of treated it like a Zoom show, like just pretend you're killing and just keep going,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was, it was crazy. And there was a lot of outdoor shows too. And it was like comedy during the daytime outside.
Yeah.
It was just a weird vibe. But it was rough for me.
Yeah.
I
Were you still doing the accounting type of work during you still have your day job?
So I did for a while, and then I got furloughed, and then I got laid off. So unemployment was great. I just stacked all that cash.
Yeah.
And when it was time to go and like we could actually perform again, it was pretty good for me.
Yeah.
I can't complain. A lot of people had it rough, and I did okay.
Yeah.
And I really like mandatory laziness. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. I also I learned that I need people and I need comedy. I did a calculation because this is how bored I was, that I ran an open mic in Longmont, Colorado for probably 3 years. And I was like, there was usually like 15 to 20 comics there, and they would all give me a hug when they walked in, and they would all give me a hug when they left, and I'm like, that's like 40 hugs, like times 4 weeks, because I would do it every Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a lot of human interaction that I didn't have.
Yeah.
It was just me and my cat, poor thing.
Yeah.
Like, just, and I needed that. Like, it took me, I was always like, I don't need anybody. I have a few close friends. I don't need a lot of friends, but I need that.
Yeah.
Like, I need the interaction. I need to be on stage, and I need to hug people and talk about jokes and smoke weed after the open mic and talk stupid shit. Like, I missed it like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm of a very similar mindset because since I've interviewed so many comics here in Austin, it was always like a recharge for me when I'd go to a show and somebody who I'd interviewed recently or who just knew that I was like cheerleader extraordinaire for the comedy scene, I'd get that hug and it would recharge me.
Yeah.
And I realized pretty soon into the pandemic how much I missed that. I've got a different life than what most of the comics are living that I talk to. But that connection was like so powerful. And, we wouldn't smoke weed together after or, talk about our jokes. But it was just nice to have that connection of, hey, I'm, recognizing you and I'm recognizing the comic. And it was just really great. And I remember my first hug back after was like, I just want to sit here in this moment forever.
So good.
It's so good. And now that things are, reopened and I can go to shows every once in a while, it's like, I really love just being able to walk into a place. I'm going to know somebody and I'm going to get a hug.
Yeah. It's crazy what it does for your brain.
Yeah.
Like, because I have, most comics I'm sure do, but I get depressive episodes quite often, and I am like a kind of a hermit a little bit, when I get in my moods, because like I've had people before be like, you're kind of standoffish, and I'm like, I am? What? Like, I'm just scared of you,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to be that way at all. So like comedy definitely opened me up a lot,
Yeah.
you know, and I need it. I need the hugs. I need the
Yeah.
interaction. I need the people. Like,
Yeah.
it's, like I said before, I think it's very tribal.
Yeah.
It's very tribal. To be in a room with a bunch of people that are all laughing at the same time at something you said, like, there's not anything like it.
Yeah.
There's just not. Like, you're not going to get that on your TV.
Yeah.
You're just not. You got to go out and be next to people.
Yeah.
And enjoy it together.
You're talking a lot about like the feelings that you get with doing comedy. How did you feel as you were progressing? What kind of things were you like looking forward to in your progression as a comic?
Huh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know. I think, so I love performing, and I love with the microphone in my hand, and I love writing jokes and trying new jokes. The progression part of it and the like, almost like the chase of it, like you gotta post this and you gotta rub elbows with these people.
Yeah.
And I am so bad at that. I am bad at it. And
Yeah.
I kind of go to a place of where what's supposed to be for me is going to happen for me and is meant for me. And if I do the work and I love the work, then that other stuff will come.
Yeah.
I always kind of was I like Dusty Slay a lot. I did improv with him. He was in Charleston too. And it's always like, I got a lot from him about like, if someone asks you to do 5 minutes at their show, have 10. If someone asks you to do 10 minutes at their show, have 20. Like, just always be ready and always be working on your material and on your stage presence. And there's like a lot of jokes where I'm like, oh, I always pause there. I'm going to try not to pause there. Or I'm stomping on my laughs. I keep talking over, you know, that's the part of comedy that I gravitate towards, you know, because the other stuff, you can't control who's going to see you when, and if you're going to crush or if you're not going to crush, or if this person's going to like you or if that person's going to like you, or if you have enough followers, or if you know, and like, I know that's important. I know it is, and I have to focus on that, and I have to put my material out there, and I have to play the game, and I have to do all that, but that is my least favorite part of all of this. Like, if I can get the girls in the front laughing and they had a bad day, that's kind of, and if I focus on anything other than that, I get really weird. Yeah. You know, and it feels like you're just chasing a carrot. Like, I hate that feeling. You know what I mean? Like, it feels very like, if I haven't performed in 2 days, then, you know, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
Like, no, you know, like, it took me a long time to get to where I am now in comedy. And I feel like with my progression, I'm getting more joyful. And I'm getting, you know, more connected to people and more connected to my material and more connected to the writing. And, you know, I've taken acting classes, I've taken improv classes, I just got done with a sketch writing class, and like, learning.
Yeah,
for sure, you know, but it all helps, you know, and I feel like someday if, you know, someone sees my comedy and they're like, hey, can you host? Sure. Can you act? Yup. Can you improv? Yeah. You know, have you written anything? Yep. Here's all these scripts. I don't know, but I like to just have kind of my hand in everything. You know, because I feel like some people, if you're chasing fame, you're not going to be happy. You're not even going to know when you get it, because you're always going to want something else.
You're always chasing something else.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's been a point in, you know, my life where I'm like, oh, I want 800 followers. Oh, I want this many followers, and you get it, and then you want more. You know.
Yeah.
So why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Like, why not just enjoy the ride? You know, like, I don't have an hour right now, and that's okay. You know, like, I've got a solid 30 minutes, and that's more than I've had before. So, you know, so I always try to focus on that part of it. And it might slow me up. Someone's, you know, breezing by me. Yeah. But that's fine. Let them breeze. You know.
I don't know if this is going to sound off kilter or just a bad question. You can tell me if it's a bad question, and you don't have to answer it. But this attitude about, you know, I just want to have fun with what I'm doing, and I'm not going to chase fame. Do you think that's a function of being older and doing comedy, or is that just as you've performed comedy? I think a lot of people go through these stages where they realize, oh, you know, I gotta I got to hit every single mic or else I'm going to be a failure. Oh, I got to get booked on this show or that show or else I'm a failure.
Yeah.
Which do you think brings you the most wisdom and that philosophy?
I think it comes from trial and error for sure. I mean, I have been in that place where I'm like, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to go to the mic, I got to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy. And it comes from a place too of like where this one joke always killed and now it's not because I'm not connected to it anymore.
Huh.
You know, like maybe it's time to change the joke or change the words in it or, you know, do something different and move around in my material a little bit. Like for me, it was a lot of stage fright in the beginning. So I had to fight through that. And I am a depressed person. Like I do have, you know, I fight through that a lot too.
Yeah.
And I think getting older, and now it sounds morbid, but we're all going to die someday. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I just don't anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I go up there and I bomb in front of somebody that's quote unquote books a show and is so good, like, whatever. I'm going to do another show.
Yeah.
Like, there's always another show. And maybe I bombed or maybe I didn't have a great set, but there's someone in that audience that liked it.
Yeah.
A handful of people come up to me after the show and be like, oh, this one thing you said, that was, you know, okay, and people didn't laugh, but wow, you know, and that counts too, you know, I really do think it's, once you hit your 40s, like my 20s, I was like, oh, what do people think about me? Oh, I don't know. And then my 30s, I was like, oh, I think they like me. I don't know, maybe they do. In my 40s, I'm like, I don't care. If you don't like that joke, put in your pipe and smoke it, because those people were laughing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, and I've had a handful of that where people will come up to me and be like, well, I didn't like that one because blah, blah. I'm like, well, the table next to you liked it, so.
People would actually have come up to you and said they didn't like. Oh my God, people, don't do that to a comic.
Yeah, and I'm not like saying anything, but it's men typically, because I've had a handful of jokes that are like from my experience being a woman, and they're like, well, actually, I'm like, shut up.
Oh my God,
don't do that to me.
Please stop.
Yeah, like I don't laugh at my stuff. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm performing for the women. I'm performing people that are with me.
Yeah.
You know, and like my goal is always to get everyone to laugh, but if you don't like it, don't laugh. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like I think you have to get to that point with performing. And if you don't, like, you can't please everybody. Yeah. You're never going to please everybody. I mean, like, look at like Casey Rocket. Like, I think he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, but could I do that on stage? No, I'm not Casey Rocket. I'm not. You know, and if I'm trying to be Casey Rocket, then I'm always going to be sad.
Yeah.
Like, I have to be me. You know, and there comes a point where, like, if you're not you up there and you don't love it, stop. Don't do it anymore. Don't. If it's making you miserable, going to 5 mics a night, don't go to 5 mics a night. Like, write new shit. Take a month.
Yeah.
You know, like, so many people are scared to do that, and I'm like, why? Why are you scared to do that? Who are you chasing? What are you gonna? You know, like. I think that is like what you said. Like, I think it is a product of being older.
Yeah.
And being like, you know, I went to yoga class today and that feeds me too. You know, like I eat ice cream and that feeds me too. You know, it makes me really happy. So who am I to say, you know? And like, even when comics ask me for advice or ask me questions, I'm like, I always am like, listen, first things first, don't listen to me or anybody else. You know, this is my experience. Maybe my like writing style and my stuff isn't going to work for you. Yeah. Maybe it won't, you know, maybe it will. I take advice like that too. Like, I'll take what I want from it. You know, because there's so many people that are like, you have to do it this way, you have to do this. Like, no, you don't. No. Like, oh, you can't wear shorts on stage. I'm like, Sam Talent wears shorts on stage all the time. And he's so funny. Yeah. You know, you can always find the opposite. Right. Of whatever anybody's saying. Yep. And it took me a long time to...
can make it work.
Yeah. Yep. It took me a long time to figure that out. To be like, oh, maybe I should just do it the way I want to do it. You know, which a lot of... When I was going from improv to stand-up, that was really... a revelation for me that I was like, oh, there's no one up here to mess me up. Like, I can do what I want. Okay. You know, and even then, like, I go in waves. You know, I go up and down with it. But at the end of the day, who do you want to be up there? Yeah. You know, like, do you want to be someone else? Or do you want to be who you are, you know? It is a product of being 40. That was a long-winded way of saying older.
I love it though.
I'm going to re-listen to this and be like, oh my gosh, Mandy, what are you doing? What are you talking about?
On that note, we're going to take our little mini intermission.
Okay.
We're not going anywhere, but now I think is a good time because we're going to tee up you coming to Austin and everything you've experienced. Well, not everything, but the comedy things you've experienced.
Nice.
So I've my Comedy Wham partner in crime, Richard Goodwin, got me this "Where Should We Begin" game, and it's really cool. And I've got 2 cards there in front of you, Mandy,
Okay.
and you can pick one and read the question aloud.
Oh, wow. I feel most erotic
Oh!
when...
You can choose the other one if you're not comfortable. Holy cow, I didn't know this was like an R-rated card game. Holy shit.
Wow, that's
Did you make that up? Seriously.
It says
Because
that.
I've been doing this now for months.
Well, I didn't know this was this kind of podcast.
It is now,
Yeah, I feel
apparently.
most erotic when I take my shirt off. Let's just see what the other one is.
Yeah, let's
just
see
for
what the
fun.
other one is. Yeah, because...
Oh, the last time I felt free.
Okay. It was also the time I felt most erotic because when I took my bra off.
Right,
There
yeah.
we go.
With the
Oh
most,
my
I feel
God.
free and erotic when I'm doing it. I'm so unsexy. This is
So hilarious.
so unsexy.
So hilarious.
That's so funny. It's funny, I think about it too, because there was an improv show I did like way back when, and I had kind of a low cut shirt on, and we recorded it, and I watched it, and ever since then I've worn
Oh,
t-shirts. Yeah, I have to be like, I can't.
yeah. You're
So
modest.
I feel most erotic when never, and the last time I felt free, oof, I'm a very free person. I do whatever the hell I
Yeah.
want. So most of the time,
Yeah.
most of the time, I try to always be free on stage too,
Yeah.
to let things fall where they may. Because I don't like crowd work. I don't like when people talk to me up
Yeah.
there. Like, I wrote a joke. Shut up.
Is that? Do you think that's the stage fright creeping in, or
Yeah.
you just?
Oh, for
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, when people talk to me up there, like, if they're interesting and want to talk to me, then great. If they're trying to be mean to me,
Oh.
there was one time where, someone yelled something ugly, and I was like, that hurts my feelings, and I don't want to talk to you anymore. And it got a great laugh, because I'm
Yeah.
just being honest.
It's like being a school. You're like the school teacher, or like the.
Yeah.
We don't do this in class.
Right. Like, nobody, there was one time where I was like, did they give you a microphone? I don't think they did. Did they want your voice amplified? No. Then shut up. Like, I don't, because a lot of people will get mean or go back and forth. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do this with you. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to do my act. Go away. Which is a product of feeling free,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those crowd work comics. Oof. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back and forth. I don't like roasts either. That's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my deal. It's not my deal. I do like travel quite a bit, so that always makes me feel free.
Yeah.
To like get out there. I have a very yin and yang in my brain with. I have to have a job. I have to make money, and I'm gonna die soon, so I better do some fun stuff.
things.
Yeah. So I kind of go back and forth with that quite a bit. But I've traveled a lot. My best friend is from Germany, so I've been to Germany like twice.
Cool.
I did like the Oktoberfest and all that stuff. That was fun. I've been to Japan. I climbed Mount Fuji. Yeah,
Wow.
that was fun. I've done a lot of I've lived in a lot of different places,
Yeah.
and I always said that if I did nothing with my life, I wanted to do nothing in a lot of different places.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at least I'd have stories.
Right.
And living in an RV was an adventure in itself.
Yeah.
And I've learned too that nothing ever pans out the way you want it to.
Yeah.
You always have these like images in your head of what's gonna happen, and you have to be ready for it not to happen,
Yeah.
or you're gonna be disappointed a lot. So just kind of figure out something else, you
Yeah.
know. And there's always ice cream.
There is always ice cream.
So always there for you. Yeah. Last time I felt free. Oof, I don't know. I need to win the lottery or something.
We just missed our chance with that
I know.
1 billion.
I need to play it.
Yeah, that helps too. Yeah, I didn't play it either. Mandy, you spent 6 years in Denver. Sorry, not Denver, Colorado. My brain is scrambled now. I can't remember states. Colorado. What was it and when was it that you came to Austin and why?
I came here in December.
Okay.
My boyfriend, Ian John, lives here. He does comedy too. And I moved here to be with him. We got a deal on a really cheap apartment. I'm not even going to tell you, it's so cheap. It's crazy. Yeah, I moved here to be with him. And I love the Denver scene. But I think Colorado was like since I started traveling, was the longest place I'd ever lived. And I was just ready to jump into a new scene.
Yeah.
Different. I think a lot of comics, once you're somewhere for like 4 or 5 years, it's kind of time to venture out and go figure out new audiences and new, which helped a lot, I think, with my comedy.
Yeah.
Like getting out and being scared again, letting my stomach hurt again, not knowing the comics and not knowing the scene and having to meet people and navigate through that. I don't know. There's always something. I'm always changing or growing or moving or trying something different.
You could have done LA or New York. Why Austin? So yes, you're the boyfriend, but like, was there something about the comedy scene that you'd heard of that you were excited about, or is just
really?
No,
I had never been here.
Oh wow!
I didn't really know what Austin was about, so I just kind of went in with both feet just to see, And I was like, I told my boyfriend too. I was like, if I live here a couple of years, and then go somewhere else or go to New York or I don't think I'm ready for New York or LA. I'm not a big city gal.
Yeah.
I'm really not, and I'm learning that about myself because like I'm living in Austin right now, and even that's a lot. And Austin is not even a big city, so I went to Houston, and I was like, oh wow. It's a lot,
Yeah.
I'd rather, and this is pretty recent revelation with me, that I'd rather live like 20, 30 minutes outside of a city and then drive in to do comedy instead of like being in the thick of it, hearing the traffic and all the people, and it's not my zen.
Yeah.
I need like a porch and plants and yeah, exactly. Like I need that, and it's like in Colorado, I lived in like Frederick and Erie, like these little tiny, like one-horse towns, and I could just drive in to do comedy. So I think New York and LA would swallow me up, but never say never. Yeah. If they're beating down my door, I guess I'll go. Now I'm actually leaving on Monday. I'm going to do some shows in Chicago.
Cool.
And in Wisconsin and Minneapolis, and then I'm in the North Carolina Comedy Festival, so I'm doing that in September. So I'm just kind of keep my eyes open. Yeah. Travel around because I like Austin a lot. Food is so good here. Yeah. Food is so good, much better than in Colorado. I'm not gonna say that out loud, but I just did. So yeah. I do miss the mountains and the hiking, and it's so hot here.
It is very hot.
It's like not okay hot.
Have you done Enchanted Rock?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
add that to your list. That'll get
Enchanted
like a
Rock.
little bit of a hiking fix.
Nice. Okay.
For you.
Good. Yeah, there's a lot of trails and stuff here that I've done that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah. And there's actually out this way, there's a lot of great hiking parks. So
it's just during the summer, man.
Oh yeah, don't do that in the summer.
Y'all are not, because I'm from North Carolina and it gets hot there.
Yeah.
But it's real humid. Houston kind of reminded me of North Carolina, where it's real like sticky.
Yeah.
But like in the middle of summer in Colorado, people were like, "It's so hot," and I'm like, "Shut up." Just shut it. It's not hot, like, at all. Yeah. Like, during the pandemic, I would run in the middle of summer outside, and it's not hot. Yeah. You can breathe. Yeah. It's totally fine. Yeah. I like Austin. I'm always bebopped around, so.
Yeah. What is it like to be in a relationship with a comic?
My ex-husband was a comic, and my boyfriend's a comic.
So you have a type.
Yeah. Well, most people I know are comics.
The odds are there. Yeah, the numbers.
I have a handful of close friends, and maybe 2 of them aren't comics, and the rest of them are comics.
Wow.
So yeah, I've gravitated towards performers and comics. It can get dicey for sure.
Yeah.
I feel a little more myself after a while, like when I got married, I wasn't doing stand-up at all, and started doing it during the marriage, and then that's not even close to why we aren't together anymore. But it's very I don't know, I think if you know who you are and you know yourself, it's real easy, because me and my boyfriend, we don't approach comedy the same at all. He loves crowd work, he loves digging in the crowd, and I'm like, I don't like it, and we took a sketch class together, and we write very differently.
Yeah.
Like, he's more like crazy and wacky, and I'm kind of more grounded, and it kind of works, I think it helps in a relationship if you come at things differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like very differently.
Yeah.
Like we are on, he does stuff and I'm like, oh, that's so funny, but I could never. And I do stuff and he's like, oh, that's so funny, but I could never. So
yeah,
it's good if it complements each other. If not, then then you divorce.
Yep.
In so many words,
Is that a threat?
That's so funny. It's so funny because people were like, oh, no, you're divorced, but we're still friends. Like, I still talk to him, like we're not, it's not, I don't think divorce is bad always.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's good.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better than staying in a long, miserable marriage.
Yeah. I mean, for my experience, it made us better parents.
Yeah.
Because we weren't fighting each other anymore. We were just like, let's make sure our kid is like the most awesome, best kid on the planet.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
It can really help, and it can make you happier. And if you're like, why wouldn't you want your child to have 2 happy parents?
Yeah.
That's better than having 2 parents that really don't enjoy each other.
Yeah. Yeah, and they make life really hard for you.
Yeah.
Because they're always like...
Oh, for sure. My parents are unhappily married for like 25 years. Like, oof, y'all could have shaved off 20 of that. Y'all really could have. It would. Maybe I wouldn't be as funny as them now, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like going through a divorce. My mom was like, yes, good job.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody was like, oh, no. It was like, good. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's a very strong woman. And it's just like, do what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better than just crying about it. Because it's hard. It's hard to get out of a marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of paperwork.
There's a lot of paperwork. A lot of like legal conversations.
Yeah. It's not fair that it's so easy to get married.
Yeah. Right.
to get divorced. It's like, ugh. And me and my ex-husband, like, we didn't even have lawyers. We did it all ourselves.
Oh, gosh.
And it was still like, we had to sign a piece of paper in the state of Colorado for child support that saying that we didn't have children.
Oh.
I was like, what is this? She's like, well, you have to do this. I'm like, what is going on? I will punch you. Like, this is so dumb. Not the point of the conversation, but yeah. Paperwork.
Yeah. Paperwork sucks. It does. What are some of the cool things that you've gotten to do since you've been in the Austin comedy scene?
I've gotten to do a bunch of fun shows. I just did Backyard Sluts with Candace.
Candace.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so fun. I've gotten to meet a lot of cool people, and I got to do Creek in the Cave a handful of times. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of shows. So Ali Woe's show. Andre Ricks, Martin Henn, got to do a bunch of their stuff.
Yeah.
Got to meet a lot of cool people. And the shows here are really fun. Like, the people here want to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And I started mainly in Boulder, Colorado, and there's just a lot of arms folded and make me laugh, clown. I don't like you. So I would, like, comedy in different places. It's funny to me because, like, I would do comedy in Boulder. That's kind of where I like started. And then I would go to Colorado Springs, and Boulder's like, very liberal and a lot of money, and there's a college there. And then Colorado Springs is like a military town. So like they like ranch and, So the first time I did a set in Colorado Springs, I was doing my happy boulder, make everyone happy material, and I ate so much shit. It was terrible. And then I saw another comic there, and he was doing the dirtiest stuff, and I was like, oh, talk about my boobs. I can do that. So that's another progression. Like when you learn about comedy, like you're just like, how come this joke won't work? It's fun when you find the kernels that work everywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
To like roam around.
Yeah. Why did you sign up for the FPIA?
I saw it on Facebook.
Simple.
That's it. Yeah.
Do you know the lore of FPIA?
I've been asking around, and I saw on your website all the people that have won it, and there's like a comedy competitions are funny.
Yeah.
They're different. Yeah.
And this one is, it's the grandfather of them all, and it's interesting because before the pandemic, that was the only competition in town. But now, because the scene has blown up so much, the Creek wants to do its competition, and Vulcan is doing, or Big Laugh is doing their competition, and it's like everybody now is like, we want to get in on this competition game, and I find it really fascinating.
I do think being a new comic here is extremely overwhelming because there is a lot of different groups. There's it seems like there's a group that's like older that's been here forever, and then there's people that moved here because Joe Rogan moved here, and then you have the people that like are legit like me or whatever that do comedy. And you kind of get all mixed in with the same. It's a lot. It feels like a little West Side Story sometimes. But it's fun. I really enjoyed the club. The club's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's so pretty. I didn't realize I try not to get nervous, I save my nerves for the stage or right before I get on stage. When I walked in there and it was like almost full, I was like, wow, a lot of people in here.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful club though. Yeah, it's been going, how long is the competition?
Since 86, I think.
86?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know it went back that far.
Yeah, and there's even some debate because I kept the historical records as much as I could, and there's even some behind the scenes talk that really there was somebody even before then, like a couple of years, at a club that wasn't called Cap City but became Cap City. So I really just started. Well, I didn't start the timeline. The timeline was available on the Austin American Statement website, but then they pulled it down, but not before I had already because I wanted to know the history and keep track of all the winners.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a long competition.
Yeah. And
now I'm nervous.
Oh, don't be.
Just kidding.
It's just do your 5 minutes of time.
Yeah,
that's it.
I've been in a handful of competitions, and I'm just like, you have to let it out of your brain.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
And it's like whatever they're gonna like that night. You don't know who they're gonna like the most, or I don't know. You just gotta put that aside and just go have fun.
Yeah. Do you throw up before a show anymore?
No.
That's good.
It probably took. I probably took 4 years into comedy when it started getting fun.
Oh God.
I'll tell you that.
You're still doing that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I wasn't throwing up, but I was not excited about it.
Yeah.
It was something I was forcing myself to do because I knew that I wanted to do it, and I knew that if I could get past the hurdle of it, but it did take a good 2-3 years for it to get fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I pushed through it, honestly, because I just not do well, and then that hits in your stomach real hard. And you're like, oh, why do I do this? And then you just do it again. You're like, what am I doing? Why? But then it starts getting fun.
Yeah.
I think it got fun for me when I started focusing on the right things. This open mic is not going to make or break me. Do your jokes and shut up about it and stop. Why am I working myself up?
Yeah.
Half the people in this audience right now are worried about their own shit. They're not worried about me. So Yeah.
Right.
It took a while. And now it's fun. Now
Yeah.
I love it. When I was at Cap City and saw the audience, yeah, I got a little bit of, oh God, but it was also like, oh, I'm going to make all of these people laugh and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just ready to go up there and just smash it. I'm just ready, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm just like, I feel like a lot of comedians don't like to go first or don't like to go last or whatever in those competitions, and I don't care. I just want to get up there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, my turn. Is it my turn yet? I'm the same with driving. It's always my turn. Yeah. Because I feel like, too, I grew up very, like, not bullied, but I wasn't cool, you know? And, like, it's fun to be the only one that gets to talk and everyone has to shut up and listen to you. It's very empowering. It's awesome, you know? And, like, I'm not good, like, I can one-on-one with you, having a good time. I know people are listening, but in a group setting, like, everybody's being cool and doing their cool thing with their cool stuff and wearing their cool clothes. I'm not. I'm not. I'm such a nerd.
In that setting, I'm just listening to everybody else processing the information, and I'm trying to find a cat in the house.
Yes.
Or a dog.
Oh my God, we're the same person.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Or I'm observing so hard that I like don't even. Yeah, I'm such an observer.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why. Like, people are not that fascinating. They're really not. But I'll just be quiet and sit and listen as opposed to, like, but when I'm up there, it's my turn. I get to talk. Yeah. You know, and it feels like it's my turn. It does feel like my turn. It feels like, yay, I get to do this thing. And it's so cool. And it's so fun. Yeah. And it makes me sad to think of all the time I wasted being stressed about it. You know? I don't want to go back there. Yeah. It's not a fun place to be. Right. You know? And there's a handful of shows where, like, I'm like, ugh, and I just, like, choke. And I was like, oh, I hate this. But it's very few and far between. Because there's usually, I'll pick a couple people in the audience that I want to make laugh. Like, I'm going to get that table. They're going to dig it. Yeah. You know? And if I make it smaller instead of...
Yeah, that's a good pointer.
Yeah. Make it smaller. There's somebody out there that's going to dig you. And if nobody's laughing but this one person, then that's your fan.
That's your person.
That's your person. That's your people. Like, it's such an easier way to look at it than being like, if I don't make every single person laugh on every single punchline.
Oh my gosh, impossible.
Yeah. And the people that are great at this and the people that do it and that make real money, they're not worried about you. Yeah. You know? They're not worried about the next comic coming to the stage or the first comic that just went before. Like, they're doing their own stuff.
Yeah. How did you feel on that stage when you were on, they did it differently than how they've done it in the past with the announcing of the people advancing. So you were all on stage and your name gets called. How did you feel in that moment?
Oh, uncomfortable. Yeah. And very like, what? All right. Okay. That's literally, I was just like, there's so many good comics. Yeah. Everyone's so funny.
It was a good night.
Yeah. Everyone was so funny and everyone did so well. I'm going to sound like stupid, but I do want everyone to win. I like comedy. I like to see like the person that's been doing it 1 year go up there and smash and like have a great time. Like, I love it. Yeah. I'm not against anybody. I don't want to win. I'm not like, I'm the best and you guys suck. Like, I'm not. That's, it feels weird. It feels weird.
I guarantee you there's somebody out there that's got that philosophy.
There's a lot of them. There's more than not those people. Yeah. And I can't relate to it. I don't relate to it. Yeah. I don't. It does feel good to like be underestimated a lot. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I like that. I don't know, there's a handful of comics and they're weird people, but it's like they're not nice to you until they see you do well. And like, I see that. Yeah. I see what you're doing. And I don't like it. Yeah. You know, like, I'm always me. And I'm going to be nice to everybody. And I'm going to, you know, and I won't be nice to you if I don't like you. Like, I'm not like this, like, oh, everybody gets a piece of the pie. No. Yeah. Like, if you're terrible at this, stop. Don't do it anymore. But it's also, like, why not? Like, why not support people? Yeah. You don't know who they are. You don't know who they're going to be. Yeah. Maybe they suck today, but they'll be really good in a year. Yeah. You know, and they'll surpass you. and you were mean to them.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah. Right.
You know, now they're like casting a show and you were an asshole. Now what do you do? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I try to be nice to everybody. And I know that I was that person one time that was walking in there and they were new and they didn't know what's going on and they're scared and they're nervous. Like, and nobody talked to me. So I try to talk to everybody, you know, and walk around and say hi and ask them about them. I met like 3 new people while I was there.
Huh, cool.
Yeah, like 3 new friends that
Yeah.
I've been messaging with and talking to, and I don't know.
Yeah.
When they called my name, I was just like, wow. Did not even, wasn't expecting it, I just did my material.
Yeah.
And the material I did that night is the closest to me, I feel. Like, I'm so connected to it because it's so real. And it's like, I don't know. Some of
That's
it's
what
new.
works. Because there are so many people that approach it from like almost a programming perspective of, you know, dissecting it to the nth degree and, you know, I'll move here at this point and
I call it comedy by numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're painting by numbers, it's like this setup, punchline, setup, punchline, joke. And I'm like, why is that funny? Why do you think it's funny?
Yeah.
What is it about the joke that you relate to?
Yeah.
You know, like, are you writing that because you think it's topical? Are you writing it because you really know about it? You know, I've seen a handful. Like, I told you I ran an open mic for 3 years, and I've seen it all. And there were times at the open mic where I would light people early, you know, and they would come up to me afterwards and be like, that person got 5 minutes, but you lit me at 3. I timed it and, like, proven their case. And I'm like, no, I did. You're correct. Like, why? I'm like, did you see their faces when you said those things into the microphone? Were we in the same room? Like, I know that you think an open mic is for you and your art, but what it's really for is for people to keep drinking at this establishment.
Yeah.
And you were making them sad. So we had to make you stop doing that. And, like, I'm encouraging you to write and to keep doing it, but you know, let's talk about your joke. You know what I mean? I'd rather be honest with people and talk about it. You know, like the angry open micer. You only gave me 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. For sure. I did. There's a lot of times at that mic where I was the only woman there, you know? Like, there were 15 dudes signed up, and your hot take, nobody was digging it, and I think that you need to rewrite that, or, well, I'm never coming back again. Cool.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Great. That sounds awesome. I don't think you should come here and drink ever. I don't think you should come as a patron. Like, there was one guy that gave me, like, this terrible Yelp review and said that I was biased and I was only there because of my friends. You know, I was biased to my friends and blah, blah, blah. And he told the most homophobic, sexist jokes I had ever heard. And I did not get a laugh for a solid 2 minutes, was just saying horrible crap into a microphone. And then he started asking people where they were from. And I was like, no. And then he called the venue and complained about me, and they called me and they were like, you got to give him 5 minutes next time. And I was like, oh, cool. Whose microphone is he going to use? Because he's not using any of my equipment. And they were like, what? And I'm like, yeah, no. Like, no. He literally slammed the door and, like, screamed curse words at me.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, he's not going to ever be I'm like, it's him or me, you know? And they were like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. It's crazy how serious I am. So serious. Like, I'll stop doing this tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, and comedy night was, like, the night that they made the most money. So I was like, but don't, you know. And I mean, obviously, I'm being a little bit annoying, but they were, you know, okay, Mandy, we totally understand, we support you. And they were awesome about it. But I don't need to hear that mess.
Yeah.
Like, this is not your Netflix special. This is an open mic.
Yeah. Right.
Like, when you get to that level, you can say what you want. But until then, yeah, I bought this equipment and I take this very seriously. And you're not going to come in here and make people sad. They just want to have a drink.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they just want to have a good time. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's so gross. People used to come to that mic just to see what I was going to say after comics. I'm like, give it up for John, thinking that he doesn't suck dick at the dumpster behind the... Trying to make us think he's not gay. so gay. Like, stupid stuff. It's so fun to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're hosting the Baker Street comedy show, which has been running, I think, several years now. And
I heard that a long time.
yeah, how is it booking a show when you're still getting to know the Austin comics that are around?
I'm running it with Zach Silverman,
Yeah.
and he has been a giant help because he knows a lot of the people around here.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to help him help me, you know? I'm like, I'll tell him people who I really like and who I've seen around, and he'll kind of help with the lineups. And there's a lot of out-of-towners that'll come and send tapes and stuff and kind of try to fit where they'll be, you know. I feel like some people, especially out-of-town comics, it's a good thing that we don't book you sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, your style of comedy is not going to go well in that room.
Yeah.
You know, and then some people it's going to be perfect, you know. So I feel like, I mean, I wouldn't get offended if someone didn't book me in their room because they didn't think my style of comedy would work for their audience. Yeah. You know, and I think a lot of comics got to think about that sometimes. When you're like fighting to get on something and you're not getting booked, it's like, maybe that's not your room. Maybe, you know, if somebody's running a biker bar, they don't want to hear my garbage, you know? If someone's doing a roast crowd work, you know, show, they don't want me. Like, I'll do it, you know, like I'll try my best, but I'm not good at it. The last time I was on a roast show, like I was like, everything they said to me, I was like, that hurts my feelings. I don't like that. The first and last one I ever did, I was like, I don't like this. So I like it.
Yeah, I don't think I would be. I can't be mean. It's really hard for me to be mean. Yeah,
it's honestly like to your question, it's very easy. There's so many good comics here.
Yeah,
and there's so many like comics that are, you know, professional and working on stuff, which is awesome to see. I love watching good comics work on new stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
It is fun.
Yeah, it's super fun to, like, especially booking that show, to get introduced into the scene. Booking a show, it's really cool to like book people you want to see again. Right. You know, and when I booked a show in Colorado, I'd book like mainly female headliners just so I could see people that I wanted to see. Yeah. You know, be the change. Right. You know, I had a handful of people ask me that when I was running that open mic, like, well, what do you do for women in comedy? I'm like, I take their spots. Shut up. What are you doing? How dare you ask me a question like that? I walk around and be myself. Like, shut up. Yeah, it feels good though. It feels good to like be in that room and like know that it's been running for a long time. Yeah. There's a lot of regulars that come there too. So it's fun to try new stuff in front of them. Yeah. When you're hosting every week, you know, they've heard all your old stuff. Yeah. So it pushes you to write more, and it pushes you to try more stuff. Yeah. And it gets them like used to who you are, so you don't always have to do like your solid openers or your solid get to know me jokes. You can kind of just be free a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We're going to start wrapping up.
Okay.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. We talked about the tacos here, right? They're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Austin. I really like the comedy scene, and I'm enjoying it here, for sure.
Yeah. My mind was flashing to, there's a taqueria that's out this way, and they describe themselves, God dang it, can't remember, like a certain style of taco, and it's very good. So if you wanted to stay out here for grabbing some tacos, I would have a recommendation.
I am
for
all
you.
about the food recommendations here. Everything's so good. The barbecue's good. Yeah, it's all amazing. I really like it here, and if I said anything on this podcast to offend anybody, just let me know. I don't care, but just let me know. If you truly want to have a discussion about it, let's do it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be right. So it's a good way to end it.
I think so. All right, well, let's wrap up with that closing question that you predicted at the very beginning. So I'm not even going to ask it. Right. So the word?
Yeah, learning. Yeah. or joy too.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I like chasing joy.
Yeah. Very good. All right, well, that is a wrap on Comedy Wham presents Mandy Kay. Tell us where we can find you on social media and promote your projects.
Yeah, I am at Mandy Kay Comedy on everything. And you have to type in comedy.
I did learn that.
Yeah, you get a lot of porn stars. A lot.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I'm like, wait, is that her? No.
It's a joke I say on stage, and people are like, wow, yeah. I'm like, yeah, Mandy Kay is a very porn name, and it's just been my name. I don't do porn anymore, so look for my comedy.
Well, that's why that card came up.
I feel most erotic when I'm doing porn. Yes, that's when I feel the most erotic. Yeah, all my stuff's on Mandy Kay Comedy. Yes, my website, my Venmo, if anybody wants to give me money. Yeah, my Facebook, everything. And I made it that way. And I'll be in the North Carolina Comedy Festival in September. I'm doing the Plano Comedy Festival in October. Cool. And yeah, got a bunch of fun shows coming up in Chicago, and I'll be everywhere.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the festivals and doing more outside of where you live shows. All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning about how Mandy got to be the comedic genius that you heard today, just as much as I have. This has been Comedy Wham presents Mandy Kay. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you.